All right, welcome everybody to Sunday Morning Gentle. We're gonna start on our back. So come there whenever you're ready. Back when the music get turned off while we were just chatting. I'll get it back on in a second, right? Right now, you're bringing that focus to your breath. Letting your breath take over, letting it guide you, ground you to your mat. Push whatever distractions you might have to the background. Maybe you've got distractions inside this room, inside the room you're in at home, so you can get the music on, or it's too cold, or it's too hot, too dark, too bright. Let all that fade to the background. Let your breath take over. Allow yourself to be focused just on your practice. Same with those distractions we have going on in the head. You're thinking about what happened this morning, what's going to happen the rest of the day, what happened last week, what's going to happen next week. Let that go. Put your focus on your breath. Allow yourself to be present to your practice. Once you feel like you've got that full focus on your breath, then you can add that element of control to your breath. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Let your breaths become longer, slower, deeper. As you inhale, you're pulling that breath all the way down into your belly. As you exhale, you're pushing it all the way out. When you're ready to start moving here, take your knees, hug them in to your chest, right? And just rock yourself up to easy sit. So you can take your hands to the crease of your knees, you can roll over to the side if you need to. We're gonna bring ourselves up and we're gonna land in easy sit, right? Doesn't matter which leg we bring in front first, right? Take your hands to the tops of your knees. We're gonna do our circles here, our hip circles, to open up the hips and the spine. So you've got your hands pressing into your knees. You're gonna lean forward, right? You're really pressing into those knees. Now, press into your left knee so that you push yourself over to the right. And then lean back, hold onto your knees, lean to the left, and come forward again. So just make that big circle. Go your own pace. Right, it's one complete breath for each circle that you make. Think of it as like a moving meditation. Eventually, next time you're leaning forward, we're just gonna switch directions. You're gonna press into your right knee, push yourself over to the left and lean back. Come to the right and back around. So same circle, just going the other way. Couple more rounds here. And then we're gonna meet back. Leaning all the way forward. Now from here, push yourself all the way up. Sweep your arms up overhead, turn your palms toward the front of the room, and we're just gonna drop our hands down in front of the shins, and then walk it forward here. Keep your hips on the ground. Just let those hips open up a little bit more, let that back stretch out. 3 breaths here. And then from there, walk it back up. And walk all the way back up here. Now you're gonna switch your legs. Bring the other leg in front. Take your hands up to the sky. Turn your palms towards the front of the room. Drop your hands down again in front of your shins and just do the same thing here. Walk it forward. Even out those hips. Take 3 breaths. Now bring yourself back up here. From here, we're gonna come into tabletop, right? So that's that hands and knees pose. You've got your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Now, what we're gonna do here, right, a little different than our cat-cat. I want you to take your toes and tuck them under and turn sideways here so you guys can see. Okay, so I'm here. I've got my toes tucked. My toes are tucked. Now I'm just gonna start to shift forward and back. So just let your shoulders travel back behind your wrists. A little bit in front of your wrists. Hips are going back behind the knees. And a little bit in front of the knees. So just getting this little rocky motion here. Do it a couple more times. And then eventually, what's going to happen, right? As you come forward, you're going to press into the balls of the feet. Lift the knees off the mat. Take your hips up and back. Come into that first down dog of the morning. So now your fingers are spread wide like starfish with that pointer finger at the front of the mat. You're pushing your belly towards your upper thighs. Add some movement here if you want to. You can bend one knee, then the other. Dog. You're going to sway your hips from side to side. Maybe you're just staying still. Just take the time, check in with your body. Notice what's going on. Make sure you're listening to your body as we go through the rest of our practice. All right, from here you're going to bend your knees, look between your thumbs, bring your feet forward to your hands. Now we're here in forward fold. Turn forward here. So your belly's touching your upper thighs, your head's hanging heavy and long. Shake your head yes and no. Make sure the creases in the back of your neck. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly to your thighs. Now take a half lift monkey here. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. We're going to fold back down. As you fold back down, right, take your feet a little bit wider so that your pinky toes are lined up with the edges of your mat. So kind of in this wide forward fold. And then from there, we're going to swan dive it all the way up. Right, so coming all the way up to standing. Now, bend into your elbows. Touch your fingertips together behind your head, right, or on your neck. So your elbows are going out wide, right? You're trying to pull the elbows together behind you. Really open up your chest. And then as you exhale here, we're going to dip to the right, take a side bend. Just bring your right elbow towards your right hip. Take your left elbow up to the sky. Come back to center here, and then go the other way. Bring your left elbow, take that right elbow up. Come back to center here. Now push it into a back bend, right? So you're pushing your hips forward, letting your chest and your gaze come up to the sky. And as you inhale, you're going to rise up, take your arms up overhead. Now, As you exhale here, right, you're gonna bend your knees and send your hips back, almost like a chair, but keep your chest up and just drop your elbows to your knees. So it's like this. You're in this little squat. Now, keep that left elbow onto the left thigh, left knee. Take your right hand, reach it up to the sky. And then drop that right hand down to your right thigh. Take your left hand up to the sky, lean to the right. Bring it back to center here. And then from here, we're gonna rise up. So you're gonna press through the four corners of your feet. Rise it all the way up. Take your hands up overhead. Pull them to heart center. Send them back up to the sky and swan dive it all the way back down. So just keep this wide stance here as we go through the sun salutation a couple times. Take your monkey just right there. Maybe it means your hands come a little bit lower because your feet are a little bit wider. It's okay. Right, then fold back down. Swan dive it up. As we swan dive it up, we bend the elbows, bring them behind the neck. Right, take your side bends, dip right. Come back up, dip left. Come back up, take your back bend. And then rise up, take your arms up overhead, and then bend your knees, drop your hips, elbows to the thighs. Keep that left elbow down, take that right hand up, drop the right hand down, take the left hand up, left hand down, press through your feet, come all the way up. Sweep your arms up overhead, pull them to heart center, take it back up, swan dive it back down. Let's do that one more time through. Take your half lift, drop back down, swan dive up, reach those fingertips, right? Lean to the right, come back up, lean to the left, come back up, back bend, rise up, arms overhead, drop it down into your, call it camper's pose, right? We're leaning the elbows on the thighs. Take your right hand up to the sky, twist, drop it down, take your left hand up to the sky, drop it down, and then from there we rise all the way up, sweeping your arms up overhead, hold the heart center, take it back up, swan dive it all the way back down. Now, bring your feet back to hip width distance apart. Maybe they're even closer than hip width distance apart. This part, that's up to you, right? Your belly's touching your upper thighs, your head's hanging heavy and long. We're gonna come up into a full chair here. So just like we did, right? We're gonna bend the knees, send the hips back and down. This time you're gonna reach your hands forward. So like this, right? You're gonna look down here, right? Make sure that your knees aren't covering your toes. Make sure that your weight's all back in your heels. Now we're gonna take an open arm twist here. You're gonna keep your left hand reaching forward. Take your right hand, reach it back. Bring that right hand forward. Now take your left hand, reach it back. Left hand, reach it forward. Now here we come all the way up, press through your feet. Your arms are gonna go up overhead. This time I want you to drop into cactus arms. Bend your elbows, open your chest, and then lean back here, push your hips forward, take your chest and gaze up. Stand up tall, take your arms overhead here, and just swan dive it back down to forward fold. Now as we get to forward fold, keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot way back behind you, bring it to runner's lunge. So you want your right knee right over your right ankle, your left leg nice and long. Feel you on the camera here, there we go. Now, backwards, you're gonna drop your left heel to the ground. So your left toes are pointing to the left, rise up to warrior one. Just peel that upper body up. Square your hips towards the top of your mat. Deep bend in your right knee. Reach up high. And then just pivot, let your hips come towards the left side of the room. Take your arms out long, so you're dropping right into warrior two. Keep bending into that right knee. Send that right knee to the pinky toe side of your foot. Even though your hips are open to this left side of the room, you're taking your gaze over your right fingertips towards the front of the room. Now turn your right palm up to the sky. Take your left hand, either drop it to your left thigh or wrap it behind your back. Scoop up with that right hand, come to reverse warrior. So keep bending into that right knee. Look up at your right fingertips and look back over your left shoulder. Cartwheel your hands around here, land them on either side of your right foot. Turn your left toes forward, drop down to your left knee. Right, you can pad under it with a blanket or a cushion if you need to. Right, make sure that right knee is still right over the right ankle, and the left knee is back behind your left hip. Now Now we're gonna rise up here into kneeling crescent. Just peel your upper body up. Reach your hands up to the sky. So it's just like warrior one, basically, but we're on one knee. You're squaring your hips towards the front of the room. You're reaching your arms up long. All right, now from here, you're gonna come down, bring your right hand, or sorry, your left hand to the inside of your right foot. Take your right hand up to the sky. So we're just in this kneeling twisted lunge. So you get a little deeper, so push that knee down. Really stack your shoulders and open your whole chest up towards the right side of the room. Reach those right fingertips up. Now let your right hand come back down outside your right foot. Now we're going to shift into a half pyramid. So you're going to push your right leg all the way straight. Okay? Let your right toes flip up off the mat. Push your left hip back towards your left heel. You don't want to sit down on that heel even if you could. Okay? But you want to go back far enough that you feel that sensation, that stretch through your right hamstring. Square off your hips here. Draw your right hip forward. Push that left hip back. Bring your nose as close as you can to that right knee. One more breath here. Now we're down in this half pyramid. What we're going to do here, you're going to bring it up to a full pyramid, right? So you come forward, you're bending back into that right knee at first so you can walk your hands forward. Then as you get to the runner's lunge, now you're going to tuck your left toes under. Come up off your left knee. Take a step forward with your left foot. So your left foot's about 18 inches away from your right heel, maybe more, maybe less, right? It's not exact. Turn those left toes a little bit out to the left, then push your right leg all the way straight and just drape down over your right leg here. Here when we square the hips, we've got to push that left hip forward and draw the right hip back. All right, now here's our challenge. You're going to sweep your hands back behind you. Right? And let's see if you can interlace your hands behind your back. My hands are interlaced. They're resting on my low back. Once you get there, you're going to push this all the way up to 5-pointed stars. So you're lifting your torso up off your right thigh, and then turn both of the toes towards the left edge of your mat. You can widen your stance here if you want to. Keep your hands wrapped behind your back for now, right? And then first we're going to go into a back bend. So you're going to push your knuckles towards the floor, pull your shoulder blades together, push your hips forward, take your chest and your gaze up. All right? Then release your hands. Come back up, shoulders over the wrists, shoulders over the hips. Bring your hands up to the sky. Now we're in that full 5-pointed star, lengthening the spine, making ourselves as tall as we possibly can. Now from here, turn your right toes back towards the top of your mat. All right, your left toes are going to stay pointed towards the left side of the room. You're going to drop down. You're going to bring your left hand to the inside of your right foot without bending your right knee. Right hand up to the sky. So in this revolved triangle. Now you can use a block here. I don't have one. I should have gotten one. Where your hand is elevated, right? You can have your hand on a block if you can't get all the way down there. Right? Because I want you to keep your right leg straight. You can always shorten up your stance here. Bring that left foot in closer. It's easier to get that right foot hand to the ground. Right? Or you can always just let that right hand come up. left hand come up your right leg. So maybe you're here. Right? But get that twist. Rotate your body to the right. All right, now, let your right hand come down, outside your right leg, turn your torso back. You're gonna put a little bend in your right knee at first here, because we're gonna take a step with the left foot. You're gonna lift your left foot up, you're gonna bring it forward. It's gonna cross behind your right foot. We have a camera here for it. So, and then you're gonna drop that left foot outside your right foot. So you're in this crisscross position. Left leg came behind the right. So it's like this. So you're all the way down, folded, putting your belly on your right thigh, staring at your toes. Just feel that strength go up your left leg. Take a half lift here. Right, pull your shoulders in with your hips. Find your balance. Press all 4 corners of both feet into the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Drop it back down here, right? And now you're going to try to bring it all the way up. So maybe you take a big swan dive. Maybe you let your hands trail along your legs as you come up. Bring it all the way up. Take your arms up overhead. Bring your palms together. And like we did before, you're going to pull those hands to heart center. As you pull your hands to heart center, right, just step that left foot back around. Take your hands back up to the sky. Swan dive it all the way down. Forward fold. As we inhale, we're going to rise up into chair again. Bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Take your arms, reach them forward. Those twists again Now we're gonna be on the left side, so we're gonna twist to the left first. Reach your right hand forward, draw that left hip back, twist to the left. Let that right knee bump a little bit in front of the right knee bump a little bit in front of the left, but don't over exaggerate that. Right, bring it back to center. Reach your right hand back, take your left hand forward, twist to the right. Bring it back to center, sink a little deeper into your chair. And then as you inhale, you're gonna rise all the way up. Take those cactus arms again and back bend. Stand up tall, arms overhead. Swan dive it all the way back down. Fold. Take another half lift monkey just to raise the back. Fold back down. Now keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot way back behind you. Come to runner's lunge. Drop that right heel down so your right toes are pointed to the right side of the room. Make sure your left knee's right over your left ankle. Rise up to your warrior one. Good high, square your hips. Now from here, we're letting our hips open to the right side of the room. Taking the arms out long. Keep that bend in the left knee. Hips face the right, and then you take your gaze over the middle finger on the left hand. So look towards the top of your mat. Keep that left knee going towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Now turn your left palm up to the sky. Let your right hand either come to your right thigh or wrap behind your back. Reach that left hand up and over. Get that space in the left side body. Bend even more deeply into the left knee. Now from here, we cartwheel the hands around. They're going to land on either side of your left foot. Turn your right toes forward. Drop down to your right knee. Make sure that right knee goes back behind your right hip. It's right down, left knee's over the left ankle, right knee's back behind the right hip, your hands are on either side of your left foot. We're gonna push it up into our kneeling crescent. So just peeling that torso up, reaching up high. And keep pushing your hips forward. Right, as you back with your upper body, so you feel that opening in your hip flexors. Now we're gonna take it to the twist. So you're gonna come down, drop your right hand on the inside of your left foot. Just take that left hand up to the sky. Stack your shoulders, open your chest. The head goes towards the mirror. Drop that left hand down, outside your left foot. Shift it back into your half pyramid. Let that left leg straighten, let your left toes slip up off the mat. Drop your hips towards your right heel. Square off your hips here, push that right hip back, draw that left hip forward. Drape your upper body over your left leg, nose towards the left knee. One more breath. Bend into your left knee. So we're coming back forward. Okay, walk your hands on the other side of your left foot. Now you tuck your right toes in. Right toes under. Come up off your right knee. Take a step in with that right foot. Turn those right toes slightly out. Straighten out your left leg again. And come to your full pyramid. Draping your upper body over that left leg. Again, you can shorten your stance as much as you need to. Keep that left leg straight. Right here, when you square the hips, it means you push that right hip forward and push the left hip back. Now, stay right here with your legs if you can. See if you can take your hands up off the mat, sweep them back behind you, and then interlace them behind your back. Once you're there, you're going to rise all the way up, peel your upper body up off that left thigh, turn both sets of toes towards the right side of the room, right? So we're in this 5-pointed star position, but you still got your hands behind your back. Pull your shoulder blades together, push your knuckles towards the floor, take a back bend here. Push your hips forward, take your chest and your gaze up to the sky. As you inhale, you're going to come up, release your hands, sweep them up overhead, lengthen out the spine in your 5-pointed star. Now from 5-pointed star, turn your left toes back towards the front of the room, towards the top of your mat, right? You're going to drop that right hand down on the inside of the left foot, keeping the left leg straight. So maybe you just get here, right? If you don't come all the way down. Maybe you have a block you can land that right hand on. Maybe you need to step your right foot in closer to get into the revolved triangle. The important thing in a revolved triangle is that your left leg stays straight. All right, now let that left hand float down. It's coming outside your left foot. All right, and you're going to step forward with that right foot. Now as you step forward with your right foot, it's going to swing behind the left foot. And you're going to be in that crisscross position. In the crisscross. Take a half lift. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. Make sure you can feel all four corners of both feet pressing into the mat. Make sure you're squeezing those inner thighs together. And then come back down. Belly to thighs, you're staring at your left knee. This time, we're gonna come all the way up. You can swan dive up, or you can just let your hands scrape along your legs. Come all the way up. Sweep your arms up overhead. Bring your palms together. Now you're gonna pull your hands to heart center. And as you do that, you're gonna step your right foot back around. Come back just into a regular standing mountain. Send your hands back up to the sky, extended mountain, and then swan dive it all the way down. Forward fold. One more half lift to monkey. Fold back down. This time as we get back down, you're gonna toe your feet out wide. Keep your feet to the edge of your mat. Heels in, toes out. Grab a block now finally. So we're gonna need it for the next couple things. Right? So if you have a block at home, grab it. If you don't, it's okay. I'll tell you how to do all that stuff without the block. But if you do have one, right? You can grab it. Now I'm turning my heels in and my toes out. If I came into a regular squat, it would look like this, right? I'm gonna use the block and sit down on it so it looks like this. Right? Try that. See which one feels better to you. If you don't have a block or they both don't feel great to you, then drop it all the way down to your mountain ankle. Looks like this. Right, so I want you to choose somewhere where you're comfortable and just stay there. Right, we're gonna stay here for a minute or so. If you're thinking about how long a minute is, as soon as I said that, where you're wondering how serious I am about the minute, and if it's really gonna be 2 minutes, right? If those are the thoughts that are going through your head, you're not comfortable, right? So find a pose that does make you comfortable, even if you're just gonna sit in easy sitting in. Be somewhere where you can now reconnect with your breath. Make sure you still have full focus on your breath. Make sure you still have control of your breath. If you lost either of those things while we're flowing, this is your chance to get it back. Slow your breaths again. Lengthen your breaths again. Deepen them again. Just take 3 more breaths here. From here, we're all going to drop it down to our glutes, right? So, we got the block. Get out of the way for now. I don't have to use it just yet. Right. Come into this hook line. Right? That means your feet are on the ground. Your knees are up to the sky. We're going to lay down on our back here, right? So take your arms out long. Lay it all the way down on your back. Now, as you come here, right now your knees are still bent, your feet are still on the ground. This is our core work here. I want you to peel your head and shoulders up off the mat. Okay, so you look like this. Now, we're gonna come from here into canoe. So that means your legs are gonna lengthen and your heels are gonna hover off the mat. Right, so I'm here, could be here, right? So this could be your canoe. You could make your canoe a little bit higher. That makes it easier. It could be like this, right? Let me tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna open and close your legs. Open, close, right? The lower I go, the harder this is. So you're trying to keep your head and shoulders up off the mat as you just keep opening and closing those legs. Now your option, you can always lay back on your forearms, lift those legs up, open, close, right? That's an option. And again, the higher you take your legs, right, the easier it is. So you could be here. You're trying to keep that head up, keep that core engaged. All right, we're gonna do it for 30 more seconds. More seconds. Last one. Let your feet come back down. Let your head and shoulders relax the mat. If you want to here, you can take those knees, hug them in to your chest. Maybe you rock side to side. right, now from here, drop your feet back down to the mat. Lift your head and shoulders up again. This time, you're gonna keep your feet planted to the mat, right? And all you're gonna do here, right? Push your left fingertips forward like you're trying to touch your left ankle with your left hand. So you're drawing that right shoulder back, right? And then you're gonna come back to center. Now you're gonna reach those right fingertips forward. You're drawing your left shoulder back. Come back to center. So you're just going back and forth here. Like there's a bar, right, behind your ankles that you're reaching for each way. Keep looking straight up at the ceiling, right? Try to keep your chin pointed towards the ceiling. Don't tuck into your chest and straighten your neck. 30 seconds here. More seconds. Last one. Let yourself relax down here. All right. Now from here, you're gonna bring your feet together. Right. So your knees are up to the sky, your big toes are touching each other. And then just keep your right foot planted on the floor. Let that left knee fall open. So come onto the knife edge of your left foot. So the sole of your left foot is pointed towards your right ankle. And think about that right knee. Trying to get that sensation going in the left leg. You can let that right knee start to fall a little bit over to the right, right? Or maybe it falls a little bit over to the left. Maybe it stays straight up, right? Think about getting that sensation going through the left quad, no, or I should say left quad, the left inner thigh. Try to push that knee as close to the earth as you can get it. Maybe even take your left hand, bring it down, push it down. Right? You can keep your hands at your sides. You can rest your hands on your belly. You could have your arms out to a T or take them overhead too, right? Whatever feels good to you. Let's take 4 more breaths here. Do that on the other side. Pull that left knee up. Right, so again, you want your big toes touching, both feet on the ground, both knees to the sky. Now you're gonna let that right knee fall open. I'm gonna go a little bit here so you guys can see. Right, so the sole of my right foot is coming against my left inner thigh. Or so toward my left ankle, so I should say. Right, so you're here, and then again, think about that left knee. It can stay straight up to the sky. It can start to lean a little bit toward your right. You can lean a little bit away from your right. You can use your right hand to press that knee down. You can have your hands at your sides, overhead, to a T, just whatever feels good. Okay, 4 more breaths here. Everybody's going to take their arms out to a T, and then move your feet out so that your feet are wide at the edges of your mat. Your toes lined up with the edges of your mat, knees up to the sky. Start to do some windshield wipes here. That just means you let both knees fall over to the right. You pull back to center, drop to the left, just go back and forth. Eventually, we're going to come to a stop when our knees are over to the right. And then maybe stay right here. Right? maybe you let that right foot come up on top of the left knee. Come a little bit further down. You should be looking to the left, your chin should be going to the left. You should be keeping that left shoulder anchored. And so see, as I'm here, neither of my knees are on the ground. Right? You can always keep that right foot underneath the left. If it's really uncomfortable to you, just drag that left knee to what's on top of the right like a regular supine twist, which we will do later. Find the variation that works for you. And 4 or 5 breaths right here. Got that right foot on top, slide it underneath, hold those knees back up the center. So you want to line it up again so your pinky toes are lined up with the edges of your mat, and then you're going to drop both knees over to the left. Right? So maybe you stay right here with that left foot kind of tucked underneath the right knee. Maybe you lift that left foot up and take the left ankle on top of the right knee. Let it open up a little bit more. Keep that right shoulder anchored, keep your gaze going to the right. More breaths. Here, we're going to pull the knees back up, right? Come back to that wide position. Now, once you get back here, take your left leg, extend it all the way so your left heel is going to rest on the mat. Take your right knee, plug it into your chest. Both hands. And then from there, right, your left arm is going to go out long again to a T. You're going to take your right leg, kick it up to the sky, and then just take your right hand. I feel like I'm not, you can't really see this, on the inside of your right knee, and just push that right knee open as much as you can. All right, so you're keeping that left hip anchored to the ground. You have to take your left hand and put it on your left hip. Do that, right? Keeping a hold of that right leg. Notice how mine's not coming all the way to the ground. If you can get it all the way to the ground, go for it, but I don't want you to roll over. See, as I did that, now my left hip's way up off the mat here. We don't want that, right? Push that left hip down. Keep your right foot up. I'm just gonna take 3 more breaths here. Now take that right hand, bring it to the outside of your knee, so you can use it to push that right leg back up. Bend back into your right knee. Give another hug into your chest. All right, let's switch sides here. Let that right leg go all the way long, heel to the ground. Take your left knee, hug it into your chest. And then take that left leg, kick it up to the sky. Let your right arm come out long. Take your left hand to the inside of your left knee. Just push it open here. And keep your right hip on the ground. You can take your right hand and anchor it to the ground if you need to. Right? So it's okay if that left foot is not on the ground. If I try to get it to the ground and to run like this, we don't want to do that. Push your right hip to the ground. It means your left leg's coming up higher. 3 breaths here. Bring that left hand to the outside of your left knee so you can push it back up, right? And now you're going to bend into that left knee again, hug it into your chest with both hands. And then bring the right knee in to join. So now you've got both knees hugged into your chest. And take a couple rocks back and forth, side to side. So that's fine. Eventually here, You're gonna drop your feet to the ground. Right? Your knees are up to the sky. Hands are gonna go to your sides, palms face down. Now, we're gonna go into a bridge, but it's gonna be a little bit different than our usual bridge. So, you're gonna push into all four corners of the feet. Lift your hips up to the sky. Your hands are gonna stay at your sides. Now, if you're used to doing an unsupported bridge, I want you to stay unsupported. If you absolutely can't stand unsupported bridge and you always have a block or something underneath your hips, then go ahead and put that there, right? But see if you can do it unsupported. We're trying to strengthen the back and the glutes here. So what you're gonna do, right? You're gonna lift onto the balls of your feet. Lift your heels, right? And then drop your heels. Now press your heels into the mat and let the balls of your feet come up off the mat. Drop your foot down flat, lift your heels. Drop your heels so your feet are flat, lift the balls of your feet. Do that about 5 more times, right? Lift the heels, drop down. Lift the balls of the feet, drop down. Lift the heels, drop down. Lift the balls of the feet, drop down. Let's do it twice more. Lift the heels, drop them down. Lift the balls of the feet, drop them down. Lift the heels, drop them down. Lift the balls of the feet, drop them down. This time as your feet come flat, right? See if you can push your hips up a little bit higher. Right, now tuck your shoulders under, puff your chest open like we normally do. Right, you can take your hands underneath your body, clasp your hands underneath your body. And now if you want to, right, you can slide that block under there. Maybe it's a little bit higher this time, right? Maybe your hips are lifting a little higher after we did that work at the beginning. Just take 3 more breaths here, wherever you are. Block it out of the way. And then let your hips float back down, nice and slow. All right, as you get here, now take your feet straight up to the sky. Come to your waterfall. Flex your feet like you're gonna step on the ceiling. You have a block under your hips here, makes it a little bit more intense. We elevate the hips slightly. You stay with your hips flat on the ground. Your feet up to the sky and your regular waterfall. Maybe you want to take it to shoulder stand where you lift your hips up on your own. Put your hands to the small of your back. So you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. Right, you decide. You can be in shoulder stand. You can be in waterfall. You can be in supported waterfall. Whatever feels good to you. We're getting the feet to go above the head and the heart. Sending the blood from the feet where it pools all day back to our head and our heart. We need it more. It's good. Increases our circulation. It also decreases our blood pressure. Floods the body with those anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. Resets our circadian rhythm, our sleep cycle. All good things happen when we feel a little bit upside down. Take 3 more breaths here. And then when we're ready to come out of it, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Bend your knees, scrape right along your face and body. Slowly drop those feet back down to the mat. If you still have a block under your hips now, take that block out from under you. Everybody's hips are going to come flat to the ground, and we're going to come into our happy baby. So in the happy baby, the feet are going to go up again. You want to roll forward so you feel the sacrum, the low part of your back, press into the mat. Right? So do that. Make sure you feel it pressing in. Maybe it means your feet aren't right over your hips, or maybe a little bit in front. That's okay. Separate your feet, maybe slightly, maybe a whole lot. It's up to you, what feels good. Bend your knees, and again, maybe it's a slight bend, maybe it's a big bend, that's up to you. Reach up for your same foot with your same hand. If you don't grab your foot, grab your ankle, or your shin, or your knee. Okay, and then start to rock again from side to side. Doing that spinal massage one more time. It should feel especially good in happy baby. If it doesn't, you could take it out, right? Just stay still in your happy baby. Maybe now that you're in the pose, you want to change a little bit. You can take your legs wider, straighter, bend them more, bring them in more. Just find somewhere to be. This feels really delicious to you. Make your happy baby. Make your happy baby happy. All right, now from here, you're going to take your knees, hug them all the way in to your chest. Now let your arms go out long, like weights in that T position. Right now we're just going to drop into a supine twist. That means your knees go to the right as your chin and gaze go to the left. Keeping that right shoulder anchored. To give you the twist, you want to make it more, you take your right hand, press the knees towards the ground, or maybe extend your legs. Toes go towards the right fingertips. Maybe just stay where you are. Whatever you're doing, you're going to keep that left shoulder anchored. That's what's giving you the twist. All right, now we're going to pull those knees back up to center, and you're going to drop them to the left as you look to the right. Again, same thing here. You can take your left hand, press those knees closer to the earth, or extend your legs so your toes go towards your left fingertips, but keep that right shoulder anchored. Always finish off with a twist. It seals off our practice, lets our body remember everything we did today. So next time we come practice, it's all a little easier. We can go everywhere a little deeper. All right, on your next inhale, you're gonna bring those knees back to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. All right, let's set up for our final pose here, our Shavasana. You're gonna let your legs go out long. Take your hands to your sides. That's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. If that is not comfortable to you, don't stay there. You have other options. You can bend your knees, you can butterfly your legs. You can roll to your belly, you can roll to your side. Just find somewhere to be where you're perfectly comfortable, where you're gonna be able to stay perfectly still. Most importantly, where your mind is gonna be able to go perfectly quiet. All right, I'm gonna come around. For those of you in the studio, spray your towel with, let's do the sea salt today. Or rosemary, or mint, or different kinds of citrus. If you want that, spray your towel. If you're at home and you have a towel, just put it over your eyes. And if not, just close your eyes. Keep your focus on your breath. At the same time, release your breath. You don't need to control it anymore. Let it do what it wants to do. Keep noticing it. Like I said, keep observing it. But let it begin to guide you. Let it take you right to that place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. When you get there, that's your true quiet mind. slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel that increased sensation that comes to the quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead. Do a nice full, deep body stretch. And then from there, roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths there, just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights and the sound of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. When you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated and we'll close here. All right, so let's finish off with our two Bhamari breaths. And then in Bhamari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of the throat. The Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths or you can just listen. Well, let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. So I will be back on Wednesday night for some yin, so come join me then. Tomorrow's Martin Luther King Day, but we're running a normal schedule here, so Liza will be here in the morning for some payo, and then Heidi will be here tomorrow night. If you didn't get enough gentle today, she'll have some tomorrow night, all right? I will see you guys soon.